different this time.
You're,
That's okay.
you're taping.
I know I'm taping. Hi, I'm Ted Cohen, and I'm currently the managing partner at Tag Strategic, which is a digital entertainment consulting firm. But my involvement in digital music goes back a long way. I have been involved since 1982 when I worked at Warner Records in artist development and became a bit of a gadget freak. One of my bosses at the time, a guy named Stan Cornan, invited me into a meeting at Warner where we explored what the interaction was going to be between the personal computer, which had been out for a few years. We owned Atari at the time. The compact disc, which was coming out a year later, and the internet, which at the time was only for information. There was no graphics, there was nothing that we see now, video or any of those things. But we knew someday it would be coming. So we had this intercompany group that came together to explore what the future of the music industry would be in a digital world. Well, now it's 27 years later, and while I could sit here and tell you that a lot of the things that we talked about, we predicted, so much has happened that we never saw coming. Things we did talk about at the time, we talked about the digitization of music, because we knew through the compact disc that you were going to be able to digitize a song, and you were going to be able to store it on your computer. We knew that someday video would be able to be digitized and transmitted, because at the time there was a thing called video CD that was in its early discussions, but the video CD format was being created. There was the ability to send messaging through email, through text, to let people know about music. But all these things were really rudimentary. It was really the early days. Bandwidth was non-existent. My first modem was a 300 baud modem. To put that in perspective, it's basically 1/100,000th as fast as the internet is now. The internet right now is basically 100,000 times faster than it was at the time. Storage was incredibly expensive. In 1987, I paid $300 for a 20 megabyte hard disk. That hard disk, if I was going to do a terabyte of storage in 1987, it would have cost $1 million. You can now get a terabyte hard drive in any store in the world for under $100. So the cost of storage has come down. Bandwidth is 100,000 times faster than it was. Video processing chips, the speed of the computer, all these things have combined to create a multimedia digital environment that allows us to do a lot of the things that we talked about. So currently I can go on YouTube and I can watch a video. I can go on iTunes and buy a song and download it. I can go on services such as Spotify and Rhapsody and stream any song I want whenever I want to. I can use a technology called Simplify that allows me to stream music from my own home computer to my iPhone wherever I am in the world. There's some amazing tools out there. There has never been a better time for artists to be discovered, for artists to get their music out there than there is right now in 2009. But there's a major disconnect. While the internet has created this opportunity for artists to get their music out there, the business models around which we can create a revenue stream for artists haven't been fully baked. So the technology has led ahead of the necessary business models to monetize these opportunities. Where do we see this breaking down? Well, in the late 90s, this started with the launch of Napster. Napster was the first digital music service that allowed people to share music freely in what was called a peer-to-peer environment. That meant that I didn't have to go to a central computer to get music. I could look at my friend's music folder on his computer and I could get the songs I wanted. Most of you are probably familiar with what Napster is. Then came Kazaa, and then later has come things like Grokster, and now LimeWire and BitTorrent and Pirate Bay. All the, quote, unlicensed, or as the labels would say, illegal services that have shown people that music is available at the click of a mouse, at the click of a button. A song can now download to your computer in seconds. A video can download in less than a minute. Storage is ridiculously inexpensive. As I said, a terabyte of storage is now under $100. So how do we create business models around it so that artists can get paid, so that publishers and songwriters can get paid, so that music companies that distribute music, that foster creativity, that fund a lot of this music can get compensated for what they've done? This is the real challenge. I do believe that we're going through a period of awkwardness, and that we're going to come out the other side where there will be a vibrant music business. People say currently this is the best time ever for music and the worst time ever for the music business, and that's true. I think we're going to get past it. There was a book that I would recommend to you by a woman, I'll get back to that in a moment. Hit stop. To understand what each is trying to accomplish and to work together to build compelling services that music fans will embrace. There then will be revenue streams, whether it's through subscription, whether it's through advertising, whether it's through sharing of personal data. There will be a relationship that results in revenue that can flow back to artists and songwriters and publishers and labels and everyone else in the food chain. I really remain an optimist that the music business isn't dead. It's just going through this period of awkwardness, and that we're only at the beginning. So what I do today is to challenge all of you in the room, and I wish I could be there with you, to think outside the box, to experiment, to think about being different, to think about being unusual, to think about being creative, not to think about what short-term gain is, not to look at it as how do I make a bunch of money right now, but how do we re-engineer this business into something that really matters and something that will have longevity. And it will keep evolving. Every day something will come along that will change things a little bit. The important thing is to embrace that to embrace that change, to build upon that change, and to continue to evolve the paradigm. I hope you have a wonderful conference today, and I look forward, hopefully, to attending sometime in the future. Thank you.